Hello, everybody, and a warm welcome to you from Jamaica, Queens, New York, Belson Stadium. It is match day 25 rolling on here in MLS Next Pro as NYCFC 2 take on Philadelphia Union 2 on MLSNextPro.com. Sean St. Jacques here with you. We begin by taking a look at the Eastern Conference standings. Massive game for both teams today, almost a de facto playoff game. Both teams on the wrong side of the line for the playoffs at the moment. A win for both can keep them on track to try and catch the Chicago Fire or Huntsville for those last two playoff spots. And really, like we just mentioned, it almost is, again, not mathematically, but it really is a crucial game for both teams. The loser could put themselves behind the eight ball in the final few weeks of the regular season in the push to the playoffs in MLS Next Pro. NYCFC 2 have been right around the playoff line for most of the season. So have Philadelphia, and a win for both teams could boost their chances. The starting lineups for both teams look like this. Matt Pilkington's NYCFC 2 have this 11, and it's a really strong front three. The Golden Boot leader, MD Myers, leads the line with John Dennis and Jonathan Jimenez on either side. Maximo Carrizo, Samuel Owusu, and Jonathan Shore in the midfield, and then that back line. The leader, Nico Benalcazar and Justin Hack, hope to hold down things defensively in front of Alexander Rando, who is between the posts. For Philadelphia, under Marlon LeBlanc, their lineup looks like this. Andrew Rick, he's between the sticks tonight, and a couple of the new signings get starts, including Hugo Leguenec in the back line, and Francis Westfield as well. Alex Perez, Christopher Olney Jr., and Kyle Tucker have all had good seasons, and Nelson Pierre and Stefan Stojanovic will be hoping to score the goals for Philadelphia this afternoon. Seconds away from the start of really a crucial match in the respective seasons of New York City FC 2 and Philadelphia Union 2. When you look at the history between these two clubs, it is Philadelphia who tend to get the result when these two get together. But NYCFC 2 are hoping to end that run of good form for Philly today. And both teams, look at the recent form in the league, are coming off of tough defeats last time out. A defeat would do neither side any good today. It's going to need to be a win for both. And again, points at a premium, right? So 2 points from a potential kicks from the spot scenario could help. But mathematically, we're getting to that point in the season. 3 points for either side is almost essential. It is just about a picturesque day in Queens, New York, Jamaica, to be exact, on the campus of St. John's University. And there is some nice cooling winds on a balmy day in the big city. Not much better stages for a crucial game such as this between two rivals. Philadelphia Union 2 are in their navy blues with the gold trim, and it is NYCFC 2 in their sky blues with the dark blue numerals. Philadelphia get us started from left to right here on MLSNextPro.com. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us for a vital game here on match day 25 in MLS Next Pro. It's not quite do or die, but it might as well be, between NYCFC and Philadelphia Union 2. Both need the win. We'll see who gets it. NYCFC looking to waste no time in creating a chance, and John Dennis forces an early save out of Andrew Rick before 30 seconds have been played. And Philadelphia get an early warning shot, but a chance to reset defensively at the back. Now, there's no question that that front triumvirate of Dennis, Myers, and Jimenez is one of the best in the league. John Dennis was the one setting the big goal totals last season. He only has 4 goals, but does have 5 assists this season, while MD Myers, the former Rutgers Scarlet Knight, has 16 goals to lead the Golden Boot chase heading in to match day 25. Here is the leader, the captain, Nico Benalcazar for New York City. On the near side. Kevin O'Toole dispossessed. A chance to get some thoughts on the game from Matt Pilkington, New York City's coach, and just talked about trying to bounce back after that FC Cincinnati 2 defeat, a big 2-0 loss on Sunday, and how crucial that game ended up being. It was the defensive mistakes that let New York down in that game, and they're hoping to be better today. In the attack here, this is Kevin O'Toole. Ball into the penalty area is well placed, but it is headed down and cleared by Philadelphia. And then Hack, a bit of a late challenge, and Philly will get a free kick. Well, Matt Pilkington also talked about the transitional moments. Philadelphia, he's talked about as being one of the best in that regard in the league. And the past conversations that I've had with Marlon LeBlanc in this season, last season, he's always talked about how important the transitional part of the game is for Philadelphia's success, and when Philly plays their way, they tend to beat New York. If the past games are any indication, even Matt Pilkington had mentioned that when Philly plays their game well and we're not up to the task, they tend to beat us. He said that New York City has to be up for the fight tonight. Good tussle for the ball on the far side. Philadelphia have it. Listen forward. Stojanovic gets some space in behind and then trying to slip that through for his strike partner, Nelson Pierre. But in the end, it's easy enough for Alexander Rando in goal for City. Well, Philadelphia also coming off a difficult defeat last time out against Clint Pierre's Revs 2. It's a 3-0 loss at home. Of course, New England's already clinched a playoff spot in the East. The other tough part for the New York City perspective on the last game is that FC Cincinnati 2, 12th in the East, and now they're eliminated from playoff contention. So that was a game where, at least based on the table, you'd expect City to get a result, but they didn't. After two tough losses on Sunday for these respective groups, this game becomes all the more important. Just talking strictly wins here, a win for New York will put them level on points with Philly and get them within 4 of Chicago for the final playoff spot, the 7th spot in the East. A win for Philly could potentially, not mathematically, but potentially knock New York City out, depending on how the last few games go, but it would put them within 1 point of Chicago, more importantly, for the last spot. And that is in the live table as it stands right now. That's how it would look. Of course, there's still many more games to go just today alone. Next Pro. It's already a game that finished up earlier in the afternoon. Big win for the defending champs, Crew 2. They put 5 past Miami on the road. See how New York City and Philly get on in our second game of the day. Near side, this is O'Toole. To spin into space, incisive ball into the penalty area, nearly fell for Owusu. Not once but twice, but Philadelphia are able to deal with it, and they clear their lines. This is the transitional game that New York has to be careful with. Pierre's through the middle. Be a chance to shoot here. Instead, Nelson Pierre is played in. It could open up for him, and he curls it wide of the post. It was patient transitional play. Stojanovic held it up very nicely. Good run as well by Kyle Tucker to join the fray. But the shot by Nelson Pierre, who does have 4 goals this season, misses the target. Another look, good hold-up play. Stojanovic and Pierre, maybe if he lets that run onto his right, it would have been a better opportunity. Not a bad effort with his left, but he misses the frame. Big chances early on for both teams. City had a chance for John Dennis inside of 30 seconds. That was saved by Andrew Rick. And Philly have already created 1 or 2 opportunities themselves on the back end. Again, defensive mistakes was the big preaching point for Matt Pilkington for New York City. Can they improve in that regard in these final few weeks of the season? That's going to give them the chance said this team is relishing the opportunity to play under pressure with the playoffs up for grabs. Nice ball threaded into the penalty area as that was a chance off the ball from John Dennis. It was cleared away, but Owusu keeps it alive for New York. Sure. At the end, it's O'Toole who can't keep it in. Beg your pardon, Dennis, who could not keep that in play. And it's a Philly throw. It's going to be sent forward by Francis Westfield. But his pass is astray. Benalcazar picks off the pass. Nico Benalcazar has been really the leader since NYCFC 2 became a club the beginning of last season. He was the player that was in the introductory press conference for New York. He first announced the NYCFC 2 club. He has stayed by their side ever since. He's been a big game player for them this season as well. He's also scored 3 goals. The captain. This is spread out nicely to O'Toole. And New York create another opportunity. It's sent through for Dennis. Dennis out wide, sure. First time ball in. Is going to be cleared away by Daniel Kruger, and it's out for a New York City corner. Good back and forth, end-to-end play in the opening minutes of this match. And from the corner, it's going to go towards the back post. It's headed centrally. Owusu trying to keep it alive. Chance to recycle the possession here. Carrizo. First time ball into the penalty area. It nearly goes into the back of the net. Falling away on the header, MD Myers, but again it's held by Rick. And now a chance to counterattack. Olney Jr. for Philadelphia. Lays it off. It's Stojanovic. Blocked. Falls for another chance, maybe for Tucker. Stojanovic to the near side. Philly can reset in possession. That's how quickly Philly can get you on the break. Frenchman, Hugo Legenek. This ball is curled beautifully into the penalty area. Stojanovic! Can't believe he hasn't hit the target. Alexander Rando maybe puts him off here. It's an absolutely pinpoint ball into the penalty area. And again, Rando only puts him off. In the end, Stojanovic misses the target and skies the biggest chance of the match so far. And in the end, wastes a beautiful ball curled in front of him. Well, in a playoff race such as this, those are the fine margins. Dennis tried to clip one to the far side. You could see what he was trying to do. However, Jonathan Jimenez not on the same page, and it's a Philly throw. It's flicked centrally. Shore was there for City and Alcazar. Just to get the attack going again. O'Toole. Owusu. Dennis. Quick feet. Owusu under pressure. Finds Benalcazar. Patient build up from City. Owusu again. Nice incisive ball. O'Toole is available. O'Toole's ball across is dangerous, and it's cleared off the 6-yard line. Not definitively cleared. O'Toole swoops in to keep the possession alive, and he's tripped up, and it's a free kick. Nicron Fata, our center official, on the scene. It's a set piece in a very advantageous position for New York. Well, that's all made by Kevin O'Toole's extra effort to keep the possession alive. Sometimes these can be a little too close for shots on target, but certainly New York has a few options here now, with a set piece just outside of the arc attached to the penalty area. Looks like it's Dennis and O'Toole who stand over this. It's going to be John Dennis. Oh, it's really well struck, but well parried out for a corner by Andrew Rick. Well, it's a textbook effort here from Dennis. Gets it over the wall. Well, it was a bit of a thinner wall on that far side, not as many players. But Rick down to his left makes the save. And it's just a corner in the end for New York. Can they create something from the ensuing corner? Oh, was headed away from Owusu. On the way through, kept alive by Shore. He's balled back in, then it's volleyed on target! And Rick makes the save again. More good City pressure. But again, Andrew Rick bails out Philadelphia. How well struck was that volley on the back end? But Andrew Rick gets down to the same corner that he denied Dennis from to make another crucial save. 12.5 minutes in, it's a bit surprising that both teams haven't scored. Both goalkeepers have done their jobs, despite some openings. Now there's a New York player down after a collision. It's going to lead to an injury stoppage. And a yellow card has come out as well. Looks like it's going to be a booking for Juan Castillo. Let's take another look at this challenge. And again, 50-50 ball there, but it's the follow through there from Castillo. Referee was on the scene. Very good look at that. And Castillo, halfway into his jump, realized he wasn't going to get there. And in the end, followed through. And the referee books him for that infraction. Good job by the referee as well to get the medical team on, because again, it's a potential head injury. Jonathan Jimenez has been checked out. Looks like he is okay. And again, medical treatment was deemed to be the right course of action. Jimenez is okay. And we're back underway. And that's part of what that off-the-field treatment rule is for. Player safety, not just trying to stop simulation. And New York City aren't going to stop trying to create chances here in transition. Owusu keeps the possession alive after it was nearly threaded through beautifully in behind the Philly back line. Shore for Owusu. Owusu. Carrizo out wide. Bit of a trip up outside the penalty area. But it's still a chance here for New York. It's Jimenez! And Rick, down to his left, makes another save. Not sure if that was going to go on target. But again, New York are not going to yield here. Again, from that angle, it looked like it may have hit the outside of the post, but Andrew Rick was not to take any chances. More big opportunities for both sides here. And it has been a rip-roaring 15.5 minutes. They say sometimes your attack is your best defense. New York has been able to keep Philadelphia's attack at bay by creating chances and winning set pieces so far in these last few minutes. It must be said, the times that Philly have leaked out, they've come so close to opening the scoring themselves. It has become a very end-to-end game, as these games have tended to be between these two. 5 prior meetings, Philadelphia's won 4 of them. New York has 1 win. There's actually never been a draw or a kicks from the spot scenario between these two. York City was recently involved in a kicks from the spot against Chicago. They lost that after a draw against the team they're trying to catch at the moment. And for New York, 1 win in their last 5. That's why today is so important. They need to get all 3 points. Philly have just 2 wins in their last 5, 3 defeats. Again, they have the better shot at the moment of making the playoffs. They're 3 points up on New York at the start of the day today, which is why a New York win could be really tough for Philly to deal with, because now New York could get the inside track of advancing onto the playoffs if they can catch Chicago. It is in Chicago's hands and Huntsville's hands, but these are the 2 that have the best chance of chasing them down. Justin Hack. Near side, Ben Alcazar. O'Toole will reset. Pass for Owusu, picked off. Maybe a chance again, counter-attacking wise. Kyle Tucker, first time ball in, tried to find Nelson Pierre. It was the right idea. Great recovery by Ben Alcazar. And in the last few games, there have been some big defensive mistakes that have cost New York. That was some great transitional defending to snuff out the opportunity for Philadelphia. One, 2 into the midfield. Challenge is clean. Philadelphia win the ball back through Rojas. Now then, Olney Jr. finds some space. Out wide it goes. Stojanovic back into the middle. Could fall for Tucker. It's Rojas, blocked on the way through, and it ricochets out for a Philly corner. Now Rojas, Olney Jr., and Tucker with some lovely interplay. It's the layoff by Tucker, and Rojas was able to put together a good strike. You could see the reaction from Tucker, because initially it looked like he was going to go on target. Rando was certainly worried about it. In the end, Owusu blocked it away. Philly do get a corner from it. From that corner, it's pinged to the back post, punched away by Rando. Headed on. And then the chance is flailed at the back post and sent high by Legenek. And it is caught by Rando to reset for New York. O'Toole. Myers had that big chance earlier. A bit of a headed effort as he was falling backwards. The Golden Boot leader in MLS Next Pro. O'Toole trying to connect with Dennis. It's cut out nicely there by Francis Westfield, and then helped on by Alex Perez for the Union. And it's a lovely threaded ball for Tucker on this far side. Stojanovic making a run. Olney's in the middle. It falls in for a chance as Owusu didn't quite deal with it. Rando had his head on a swivel. And New York come out with possession. Well, that touch from Owusu could have gone anywhere inside the penalty area. New York are thankful that it fell for their goalkeeper before one of their attacking players, Stojanovic, or possibly Olney Jr., have gotten a boot onto it. Ball is spread out to this far side. Defensive work there from Castillo. He's very strong. The threaded ball is cut out by Hack. And a lovely ball played into the penalty area. Dennis in the middle. And the cross in by Myers is held by Rick. Seems like every minute there's a chance right now, but still, no opening goal. At least not yet, but it has been coming. I think at this point, it's just about who's going to score the opening goal, not if one is coming. Both teams have come oh so close. That is a late challenge that comes in from Alex Perez. It's a New York City free kick. Second time that Jonathan Jimenez has been roughed up around that part of the pitch. And he's cut through as he tried to control it by Perez. It's just going to be a foul and a New York free kick off the restart. Times this season at Belson, it's been a bit of a mixed bag for New York. They do have 6 of their 9 wins here. They also have nearly half of their losses in Queens this season. 6 wins and 5 defeats. Just the 1 draw. Philly have actually been pretty good on the road this season. The majority of their wins have come away from Subaru Park. 5 out of 9. Just 4 defeats and 3 road draws for Marlon LeBlanc's group. So on the road at times has been a place where Philly have made themselves at home. But they're under some pressure here with New York winning the ball back. Carrizo out to the far side. First time ball into the middle. Needed a little bit more precision. And it is going to fly out for a goal kick. See what New York were trying to do there in transition. It's good distribution by Maximo Carrizo. The first time ball in by Steven Turnbull was hit a bit too firmly. And arguably the player of the half, Andrew Rick, sends it forward. Tells you how important he's been for Philadelphia and the saves he's had to make so far. Pass is picked off. Turnbull in the retreat with Hack on the far side. Could open up here for Tucker. Kyle Tucker flares it back out wide. Stojanovic and Pierre in the middle. A shot does come in and it's parried away by Rando. It's a great curling effort and an acrobatic save by Alexander Rando. Sees it go out for a throw on the near side. Well, there was actually 3 Philadelphia options in the middle, but it's a very good strike. But in the end, Alexander Rando is equal to it in New York's goal. Kruger for Philly. For about 25 minutes now on the dot through this first half. Westfield recycles. Westfield ball by Kruger is picked off. Oh, but it's a bad pass back. At least it was dangerous. And Stojanovic was nearly gifted a chance there. Rando was ready and clears the lines. Wow. Another ball threaded through. Pierre this time beaten to it by Rando. Continues to stay alert for New York City. Olney Jr. from the throw, gets it back. Tries to smuggle a ball through that New York midfield, but Nico Benalcazar comes out with it for the hosts. O'Toole is in support. Good centering pass. Dennis for Benalcazar. Benalcazar assesses his options as his teammate Owusu. Turnbull on the far side. Alcazar's control. Shore for O'Toole. And Ben Alcazar, almost the point guard at the moment, shepherding teammates around. Hack for Owusu. Turnbull under some pressure. Nelson Pierre's good work nearly wins a throw-in for Philly, but it's going to stay with New York. And now New York were thinking it was going to go their way, but it's a Philly throw in almost the exact same position. Philly back on the attack. Tucker has help with Westfield joining in. In the end, Rojas has to flare it out to the far side. Pressure from Myers. Philly do deal with it, but in the end, they give it back to Justin Hack. New York City's turn to try to come up with something. O'Toole. Dennis. Back for O'Toole, who scampers past the challenge from Westfield. Can O'Toole pick somebody out? 3 players around him. Dennis is back in support. Owusu joins in. It's poked ahead. It stays with New York. Jimenez. Turnbull. Owusu. Ben Alcazar slows it down a beat here for Hack. Hack. Shore. Out wide. Turnbull. Curling one into the middle. In the end, it's cleared away, but not definitively. Owusu. New York City recycle it. It's threaded through. Dennis across, and Rick holds on to it with MD Myers lurking. Well, this was a bit of a slow flow on the build-up from New York, but great incisive ball for Dennis, and Dennis had the right idea. Tried to get it back across for Myers, but once again, it is great goalkeeping by Andrew Rick. And now this is headed on for Tucker and Pierre. And the flag stays down. Pierre actually hits the post. It wouldn't have counted anyway. Philly are contesting that the flag shouldn't have gone up because Tucker allowed Pierre to run onto it. In the end, they both might have been offside. We knew Tucker was. He was a pretty good shot at it. Regardless, the attack fizzles out, and on the half-an-hour mark here, we will have a hydro break here in Queens. A boatload of chances for both teams here. If you're just joining us, you've missed everything but a goal so far. Both goalkeepers have been tested tremendously in this first half, but they've done extremely well. Andrew Rick for Philly has made some huge saves. Alexander Rando put off in the end. Stefan Stojanovic at the big moment for his big chance and has made a couple of good saves as well, including a sprawling effort to deny a chance from Philadelphia in the last few minutes. And it's a game that both teams really need to start stacking up the wins in these final few weeks of the regular season. The run-in also is pretty tough for both teams. Final 3 games of the season after this for New York. They have to go to Columbus Crew, the defending champions, who've already clinched a playoff spot, to try to defend their crown. Then New York are here against Toronto. They still have a slight chance, but mathematically they're up against it. And then they're away at Inter Miami, the bottom team in the East, who have already been eliminated from playoff contention. Philadelphia are home to Toronto, but then have a huge home game against Huntsville on September 17th. That could be a very, very crucial game. And then their final game of the regular season, Philadelphia have to go to Montclair to take on Red Bulls 2, who have also already clinched a playoff spot and currently sit in third in the East. So, final few games after today are all going to provide their own tests. Can one of these two give themselves a jolt of momentum heading into the run-in with postseason hopes at stake? That's why the first goal of this match, which has come so close for both teams to coming, could be so vital. The goalkeepers have been more than up to the task, and it stays, for now, at a stalemate. Looks like both teams are trickling out after the first half hydro break. And it's a bit balmy in Queens today. It's a nice September summer evening in the Big Apple, with big things on the line. New York City control from the restart. Offside flag allows them to get a free kick, and we're back underway. Turnbull tried to find Dennis. A bit of a coming together there, sees Dennis penalized, and sees Philadelphia get to reset through a free kick. It was Francis Westfield on the cover. He was able to reset, but the ball is quickly won back by Shore. Shore's ball needed to be a little bit more out in front of Jimenez, and it's cut out. Now Philadelphia trying to crank things up in transition. But the ball's floated in over the top into no man's land, and Rando will corral it for New York. Ben Alcazar for Hack. Turnbull. And it'll be a recycle for Hack and New York. New York trying to end a span where they've lost 3 in a row against Philadelphia. But of course, Philadelphia are trying to end a run in the league where they've lost 3 in a row leading into this game, losing to Cincy, Huntsville, and New England. But they get a chance here in transition. Tucker, cut out by Hack. But Tucker does well, doesn't give up on the play. Wins a throw-in for the Union. Rojas for Westfield. And it'll be a recycle all the way back to Kruger. With about 10 minutes and change left in the half. Kruger's dispossessed. Dennis. Carrizo. This is Myers. Can New York beat Philly at their own game here? It's played in behind. It's Jimenez who scores! New York City lethal in transition, and it's finished off by Jonathan Jimenez, who breaks the deadlock and gives New York a 1-0 lead. How important could that goal be in the playoff push for both teams? It's Jonathan Jimenez's 6th goal of the season. And New York City beat Philadelphia at their own transitional game. The irony won't be lost on Philadelphia, but they're behind now, and New York take the lead, and the goal has been coming. That is the moment that Matt Pilkington and his group have been searching for. They have a lead to hold on to in this crucial fixture. How can Philadelphia respond? Stojanovic back across. Good run by Olney Jr. Cut out by Rando. Both teams had come oh so close, but it's the hosts that break the deadlock. And as you can see by Philadelphia's response, there's going to still be some more big moments to come, you would think. Turnbull. Nice little turn by Carrizo. His ball out wide is cut out. Sent ahead by Castillo. Again, Rando, sweeper keeper off his line. Snuffs out the Philly chance. And the Union will have to reset with a throw on the near side. Tucker. Westfield. Rojas. Marlon LeBlanc's group look to get back into it. Pass there is cut out. Perez couldn't find a teammate. Carrizo leads the break for New York. And he's held up. It's a free kick. Well, the beautiful game can be a funny game. At times, New York were so worried about Philadelphia's transitional play. But it's New York that hit Philly with a big sucker punch. Benalcazar. Out wide, Turnbull. Turnbull again. Did well to stay with that. Owusu in support. Back for Hack. Benalcazar. Trying to slide in Myers. Myers for Dennis. Dennis out wide. O'Toole. And O'Toole's cross is absolutely scraped over the top and out. A complete miss hit in the end by Kevin O'Toole. And New York City let a big chance get away from them there. Well, now you look at the live table, and New York City, at the moment, would go ahead of Philadelphia for 8th place, and they would be within 4 points of Chicago with 3 games left to play. That's why this one means so much. The winner could really set themselves up for a late season playoff push. And again, the loser isn't necessarily out of it, but it would be a huge blow to their potential playoff chances. Now then, Philly back on the attack. Only for Westfield, who plays catch with Rando in the end. Shore. Dennis. For O'Toole, with 5 minutes plus stoppage time left in the first half here in Jamaica, Queens. Hack. Benalcazar back for Rando. He's made some absolutely crucial saves. So has Andrew Rick, it must be said. City could have had a couple more already if it weren't for the Philly goalkeeper, and vice versa if it weren't for Rando. Ball is headed down the line, but it's out of play. Goal scored by Jonathan Jimenez, who's New York's second leading goal scorer. Talked about his 6 goals. He also has 5 assists, which is the second highest on the team, behind Jack Beer, who is not in the squad today. Hack. Benalcazar. Really ramping up the pressure a little bit, trying to win the ball back. Shore. It was ricocheted, but Benalcazar was in the right position. Turnbull. For Wusu, who has his pocket picked. Olney turning on the Jets to try to lead the break for Philly. Pierre wants it in the middle, but Rando is there. Carrizo is dispossessed. Cleared out wide by Stojanovic. Near side, Westfield. It's been a really good half, it must be said. 1-0 does not tell the whole story. There's been more chances than we can count. So many opportunities. Ooh, and a bit of a coming together there. Sees Philadelphia win a free kick. Juan Castillo in front of the New York bench. To Matt Pilkington's left, Philadelphia get a free kick. Well, Philadelphia have plenty of players on the outskirts of the penalty area for this set piece. Ball is whipped in. Turnbull gets a boot to it first. And New York, in their transition attempt this time, see the ball trickle out of play on the near side. Shore. He's looking upfield, finds Hack instead. Carrizo on the turn, lost out. Shore wins it back off Rojas and threads the ball in behind. Jimenez across, and it's deflected out for a New York corner. Again, the extra effort in that New York City midfield creates an opportunity. This time it was Jonathan Shore. It looked like the play had gone for New York, who got them back in the right direction as we approach first half stoppage time. Gives New York City a set piece to work with. We enter 4 added minutes. And from the corner, it's flicked on towards the target. Philly clears for Olney Jr. to run onto. And this ball is flared down the far side, but Pierre, he's covered by Benalcazar. Ball by Hack. A little bit of an in-between hop for Rick. As he's done for the majority of the half, he is there to deal with it. Stojanovic in the meantime. He's in Westfield. Rojas for Philly. Sees Castillo. Ball is dangerous, and Stojanovic couldn't really redirect that. It just skimmed off the top of his head. And it is going to be a New York throw on the near side. Piers couldn't really control it. Westfield does. Still a couple of minutes left here for the scoreboard to change. At the end of the first half. Olney. It opens up for Tucker. He curls it into the penalty area. Hack doesn't take any chances, but in the process concedes a late corner. With about half of the minimum of 4 added on, still to play. Still a chance for Marlon LeBlanc's group to get back on level terms before we get into the halftime interval. Rojas, Pierre, Westfield, all the big bodies. Trying to get ahead on this potentially for Philadelphia. High arcer, and it's headed wide in the end by the Frenchman, Lagenek. Sent back in and punched away by Rando. Rojas was lurking. It's not only as far as Tucker. Tucker gets it back. First time ball in is dangerous. Rando point blank save. Rebound is in. Whistle goes. And the flag is up. Now Nelson Pierre does finish the playoff, but the goal will not stand. What a save by Rando regardless. He didn't know the flag was going to come up. But Nelson Pierre was in an offside position. Great save. Rebound was finished, but the flag had already gone up. And the chance is gone in that occasion for Philadelphia. But again, Rando wasn't to know that the flag was going to save him there. What a stop. And Pierre did well to follow it up, but he was in an offside position. And that's how the half ends in Queens. What a half it was. Both teams could have scored multiple goals in that first half. There was a multitude of opportunities. But in the end, Jonathan Jimenez has been the most clinical so far. His 6th goal of this next pro season has New York City ahead of Philadelphia at the half. And in the live table, New York would jump up to 8th. We will see how it all plays out at the end of the 45 minutes. Again, our score at the half is New York City 1, Philadelphia 1. The Golden Boot race has certainly been heating up. We checked in with our Golden Boot leader entering today. We've seen him already in this first half, MD Myers, on his journey from youth to academy to college to pro. Samara Perez got the chance to visit with the league's leading goal scorer.
Good ball played towards the middle, and it's in. Matt Myers with the breakthrough for New York City.
What's up? I'm Samara Perez with MLS Next Pro. Welcome to a new player profile feature. Today we are delighted to be joined by Matthew MD Myers of New York City FC 2. Hey Matt, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Matt, you were drafted in the 2023 MLS Super Draft as the 66th overall pick. Take us back to that moment and how you felt when you received the news.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Coming from Rutgers University too, it's not too far from New York City, so I was excited to stay close to home and play for a great club. So it was an exciting moment, and I couldn't wait to get to work.
Speaking of your college experience, what was that like? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I spent 2.5 years at High Point University, and then spent my last season at Rutgers University. It was great. I really enjoyed my college experience, and I scored a lot of goals, and I had fun doing it, so it was a good experience.
Now, going back to your early soccer memories, at what point did you realize that you had what it takes to make it pro?
Yeah, I mean, ever since I was little, I played with some great players, and one thing I always love to do, I just love scoring goals. I live to score goals, so I always had that drive, and I had that a little bit over a lot of the other players. So I always felt that I could be a pro, and it was always my dream, so just a lot of hard work, and I was able to get here.
Matt, what were some of the challenges you faced in your journey to becoming pro?
I played for the Philadelphia Union Academy growing up. I played there for 4 years, so I spent my high school years there. I had a great time, but a lot of coaches were telling me I was too small to make it as a striker. I wasn't going to make it, but that only pushed me pushed me to work harder. I think during my high school and college years, I tried to work harder than everybody else that was around me, and that got me to the next level. And I ended up growing a little bit, so that helped too. But the combination of those things and just having a never say die attitude and keep grinding is something that pushed me to the next level.
And that's insane because you're not a small guy now, right? You're like 6 feet.
Yeah, I'm like 6'1" now, but in high school, I was probably the smallest kid on the team at Union. And as a striker, it's not always the easiest being the small guy, but I always had that knack for goal, wanted to score goals, so I was never going to move back and play outside back or something. I wanted to be out in all the action, scoring goals, so just had to work a little harder.
Those 17-year-olds getting the start here today as now it's sprung NYCFC 2 forward. Arevalo moves it out wide, shot comes on, and it's a second goal for Matthew Dylan Myers.
So now that you're in the pros, what has your experience been like in MLS Next Pro?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy every single day. It's definitely a more technical league than what I was used to in college, so it took a little bit of time to get used to it, but once I settled in, I've really been enjoying it and just looking to make the next steps whenever I can.
Speaking of that next step, what are your aspirations as a professional soccer player?
Eventually I want to be playing in the MLS. I want to be scoring goals for an MLS team, and I mean, I love scoring goals wherever I'm playing, but to be able to do it for an even bigger, on a bigger stage would be amazing.
You have a lot of goals in MLS Next Pro. You're one of the most prolific scorers in the league this year. To what do you attribute your success?
It comes down to my teammates finding me in the right spots. I'm the type of guy I'm more of like a fox in the box type striker. I don't want to be dribbling guys all the time. I want to just find the right areas, and my teammates have helped me dramatically. They've been playing great, and just getting the ball to me, and I just finish it off for them.
To wrap things up, complete the following sentence for us. At the end of the 2023 MLS Next Pro season, MD Myers will be
helping his team to the MLS Next Pro Finals.
Matt, well, thank you so much for chatting with us. Your journey has been a stellar one so far, and we wish you the best of luck in your career.
Thank you so much.
And thank you everyone for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this interview and stick around for more player profile features coming soon.
Well, good stuff there. Here's a quick look at the Golden Boot leaderboard as we began match day 25. And MD Myers came close to scoring for New York City in that first half. He has 16 goals, and of course, New York rivals Red Bulls 2 with Ibrahim Kasule 1 goal behind, of course, Jacqueline, Nick Firmino for Orlando and Atlanta, respectively, both having great seasons. Both could still have a say. All three could have a say still, along with Matt Myers, on who gets the MLS Next Pro Golden Boot when it is all said and done at the end of the regular season. Ending match day 25, we had 5 teams into the playoffs, now 6, with Austin clinching on Friday. Michelle and Samara wrap up last weekend in the match day rewind.
Match day 24 closes out our last weekend of games in August, meaning playoffs are right around the corner and teams are in clinch or elimination scenarios weekly. I'm Michelle Montaigne, joined alongside Samara Perez, recapping all of the action from match day 24.
We kick things off with the newest guest to the postseason party. Joining the Eastern Conference RSVP list are Red Bulls 2. The New York side secured their golden ticket with an electrifying 5-4 win over Fire 2, thanks in large part to an Ibrahim Kasule brace. He now has 15 goals on the season and is just 1 behind MD Myers for the Golden Boot lead. Following the match, coach Ibrahim Sekagia touched on how the team's commitment early in the season led to this moment.
From the beginning, we talked about how we can put our style of play into the new guys coming in to buy in what we are doing. I think this is where the achievement shows. What we did now to to clink for the playoffs. I think it's a big achievement for the boys.
Staying in the Eastern Conference, an emotional win for Orlando City B, defeating Crew 2 4-1 without one of the most prominent guys on their team. Fabian Loyola underwent successful surgery this week to remove a blood clot from his arm. Following the match, head coach Martin Perelman put it simply.
Fabian is something so important for us, so important inside the locker room, for the coaching staff, for the teammates, for the fans, for everybody. But we know he's strong. He has all the support of our club. I need to mention as well the amazing job our medical department did. And we are so happy that he did the surgery, was successful, and we're going to support him, and he's with us until the end, and I hope he can return to the field soon.
We all send our best wishes to Fabian. Great to see the team dedicate the win to him. Now, this win keeps OCB at 5th in the East, and despite the loss, thanks to help elsewhere, the reigning champs, Crew 2, also secured their playoff spot.
Now, switching gears to the West, there's a team that's staying alive, as the BG said, for yet another week. That's LA Galaxy 2. Los Dos had a huge shutout win over Dynamo Dos, handing them 4 goals on their own turf. 2 of those 4 came from 18-year-old forward Aaron Bibu. With the decisive win, the Los Angeles side avoided elimination for the 3rd straight week. North Texas SC, Raw Monarchs, and FC Cincinnati 2 also avoided elimination in match day 24.
And while 4 teams have clinched in the Eastern Conference, Rapids 2 remains the only team in the West to have punched their ticket to the postseason. But Tacoma Defiance might just be next. They defeated NYCFC 2 on the road 4-2, thanks in large part to homegrown talent Josh Atencio, who scored Defiance's first goal and assisted their second. Tacoma are now level on points with Austin FC 2 for the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. Both teams will be aiming to clinch their playoff spot next week.
With the playoff picture narrowing down by the week, the competition is getting more intense. Michelle and I will see you back here next week with the latest happenings leading up to the postseason.
And of course, our game has plenty of playoff implications as well. New York leading Philadelphia by a 0-0 at the half. Next 45 coming up in just a few moments. Meanwhile, a 10-save performance is among the noteworthy items from matchday 25 as Michelle has this week's spotlight.
Matchday 24 saw players stand out with their seasons on the line. I'm Michelle Montaigne with your players in the spotlight following a very exciting match day. Starting with your MLS Next rising star, Sporting Kansas City 2's Cello Tachantre. The youngster not only handed his squad a win over one of the best teams in the West, his game winner over Austin FC 2 also prevented Verdos from clinching. Tachantre provided the game winner to give SKC2 their 3rd straight win. Now, it's not often that goalkeepers find themselves in the limelight, but this week's player of the match day more than deserved it. North Texas SC's Antonio Carrera posted a career-high 10 saves to shut out Whitecaps FC2 on their home turf. He had 37 of 43 accurate passes while earning his 3rd clean sheet of the season. By keeping Whitecaps FC2 off the board, he helped keep his squad from postseason elimination. Now, earning the best goal of matchday 24, that would be SKC2's Lucas Rosa. A perfect setup pass from Valentin Noel had Austin FC2 on their back foot as Rosa found a gap and sailed this ball perfectly into the top left-hand corner of the box, right past the reach of keeper Damian Loss. And rounding out the Matchday 24 spotlight honors is the best team of the match day. That goes to FC Cincinnati 2 with a 2-0 win over New York City FC 2, their first ever win over the New York club. To do it, they had to shut down the Golden Boot race leader, MD Myers, keeping him off the scoreline with Paul Walters denying the forward his 17th goal of the season during a PK. Now FC Cincinnati 2 has won 2 of their last 3. Congratulations to all of our players in the spotlight for match day 24. Can't wait to see what you guys do as the playoff push continues.
Well, it is that time of the year. The push to the playoffs is impacting just about every team in the East and in the West. And get a chance now to take a look at the upcoming schedule in MLS Next Pro. Of course, Tacoma and Timbers 2. Doesn't matter where they are in the standings. That's always a big game. Revs 2 have already clinched. Orlando City B may clinch before Thursday. We'll see. They get a big meeting there. And then on Friday, huge game for New York City, regardless of how this game plays out. They travel to take on the defending champions, Crew 2. Same goes for Philadelphia. It'll be a must-win regardless of how our second half plays out here. They take on Toronto FC2 at Subaru Park on Friday. So, again, just about every game coming up, not only today on Sunday, but throughout the rest of the next couple of weeks, are all of a very high importance. And now we get a chance to look back at a very important first half between New York City and Philadelphia Union 2. And what a half it was. A boatload of chances here at Belson Stadium. This was a chance inside the first 30 seconds for John Dennis. An early save for Andrew Rick, but Philly had plenty of opportunities themselves. Nelson Pierre curling one just wide of Alexander Rando's far post. This is Philly's best chance of the half, a point-blank range effort. Stefan Stojanovic put off by Rando in the end. Dennis curled one off a free kick after that. Good save by Rick, and then a great save by Rando, denying a curling effort by Olney Jr. Then across into the middle from Dennis, held by Rick, who came up with some huge saves, but in the end, it would be New York City's transitional game, a place where Philly normally dominates, that would yield the opening goal from Jonathan Jimenez, his 6th goal of the season. With a few minutes left in the first half, gave New York City the opening goal, and that is where we stand at the moment at the end of the first half. Second half is coming up in a matter of moments, but let's take a look at how the first half stats look. As you can see there, possession and the scoreline in general favoring New York City FC, but look at the shots, 7 each for both sides. The big difference though, 6 shots on target for the team in front, New York City. Just 1 shot on target for Philadelphia. So that'll be something that Marlon LeBlanc's side have to work on in the second half. And so far, it's been about who's been the most clinical so far in this game. Again, both teams with an identical amount of shots, but the accuracy of the shots and the goals have gone in New York City's way so far. New York City have the lead. They have the ball to start the second half. And the Sky Blues will be kicking from left to right here at Belson Stadium. And the second 45 minutes here on MLSNextPro.com is underway. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. If you've stuck around so far, it's been a really entertaining half. And there promises to be more to come. Jonathan Jimenez with the opening goal. And New York have the lead at the start of the second half. And have, in the live table, if this result holds, the 8th spot with 3 games left. These two teams pushing to try to get into the 7th spot, where Chicago would be at risk. Huntsville in 6th, they're also on 37. They would be at risk as well if both teams could potentially jump up, or even if one team along with Chicago could sneak into the playoffs. O'Toole on the far side, plays it centrally. Jonathan Shore. Of course, New York trying to stop a streak of 3 straight losses at the hands of the Union 2. Philadelphia have lost 3 straight in the league coming into this game and hoping they can end their losing streak here. O'Toole into the penalty area looking for Myers. And it is cleared out for a corner. Well, Philadelphia did make a halftime substitution. We'll get to that in a second. New York have a corner here. Just goes about over everybody's head. Philly's halftime change. Neil Pierre came on for Daniel Kruger. And New York City is unchanged. O'Toole. Nice incisive ball across the middle. You can see the reaction from Myers. It's just a step too far out in front of him. It's out for a goal kick. Now 2 Pierres on the pitch for Philly, Neal and Nelson. Let's see how those two get on. Both have scored for Philly this season. Neal has 1, Nelson has 4, with 4 assists. Here comes Philly in the attack. Here is Nelson Pierre. Looks for help in the middle. Can he find some space himself? He does try to go for goal. It's blocked. New York snuff out the chance and clear their lines. Now then, Myers with the hold-up play. O'Toole. 2 players on him. Is going to go back to his goalkeeper, Rando. Already 1 game in the books today. With Crew 2, who have already clinched a playoff spot, the defending champs, winning at Dry Pink Stadium in Fort Lauderdale by 5-0 in our 2 p.m. game on the Eastern Standard Time scale. There is still some huge games still to come today, and a lot of them have playoff implications. There's no question about that, if not all of them really have playoff implications. Houston and St. Louis kick off in about 15 minutes at Viva Stadium. And then Orlando against Crown Legacy with Martin Perelman's group having a chance to clinch. Here it's New York on the attack. A shot comes in, it takes a big ricochet. Jimenez tries to pick up the pieces. Turnbull's in support. And it's played all the way back for a recycle to Justin Hack. Just to round out the schedule, North Texas have to win against Rapids 2. Earthquakes 2 against Minnesota, and Los Dos against SKC 2. I'll apologize for the brief technical difficulties there. Just a reset. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, here with you. New York City leading against Philadelphia by 1-0. Jonathan Jimenez scoring in the 36th minute. As Matt Pilkington's group where they want to be right now. That's in front. First half brought so many chances for both teams. Could have had 3, maybe 4 goals apiece, really. I mean, that's how many big chances there were, especially for New York. It's just the finest of margins at the moment. Owusu on the near side. Under pressure, Carrizo for O'Toole. Justin Hack. It's bounced around between Next Pro and the USL Championship at times these last 3 or 4 seasons, but he's found a home once again with his parent club, New York City FC. Certainly a player that could have a very bright future. Pretty versatile player as well, Justin Hack, can play in defense, can be an important midfield player as well. And with multiple teams at multiple levels, the American soccer landscape, he has played in multiple big roles. Here's O'Toole for New York. Dennis tried the return pass to O'Toole, and Philadelphia Union cut it out. And Rojas does well under some pressure to calm things down. And Castillo plays it back for Rick under pressure from Myers, and the pressure from Myers leads to a throw-in for New York on the far side. Hack. Near side, Turnbull. Nice skill by Carrizo. Maximo Carrizo in the end overruns it, and he's dispossessed. And this is where Philly can be dynamite at times, but the ball is too far out in front of the dynamic Nelson Pierre. Although he does appreciate the thought. So Orlando City could clinch later on tonight. North Texas in danger. They have to win against Rapids 2 to have any shot at staying alive in the West later on this evening. Minnesota and San Jose, important for both teams. Los Dos, who continue to just about stay alive. They have to beat Sporting KC 2. They're looking to improve their seeding in the Western Conference playoffs, but they haven't clinched either. To be fair, Benny Feilhaber's group are on the cusp. Just two teams have clinched in the West. Rapids 2 under Eric Boucher. And what a job's been done with Austin. Verdos has just been tremendous all season long. They've also clinched, and Tacoma on the cusp of getting back to the postseason in the West. Of course, in the East, the top 4 teams have all clinched. Tremendous opening campaign for Crown Legacy. Olympia's Revs 2, after just missing out on the postseason last year, they have made it. New York Red Bulls 2, we've highlighted during the halftime break, they have clinched. And the defending champions, Crew 2, will get a chance to do just that, defend their title in year 2. And again, Orlando City B not far away from adding themselves to that list. These two teams fighting just to stay in it. New York City looking for a second goal here. Ball was curled into the penalty area. Jimenez was the target, too far out in front. And Juan Castillo, who is on a yellow card, must be said, gets Philly out of trouble. Stojanovic is stood up, couldn't continue the transitional play. Far side, Tucker. Out wide. Stojanovic, Tucker, and Pierre in the middle. It's across the face, and it's held by Rando. It's Stojanovic, in the end, having to leap over Alexander Rando. And referee will blow the play to a halt. It's a very good ball across. Too close in the end of the goalkeeper, but Stefan Stojanovic, in the end, had to topple over Alexander Rando, and referee is stopping to look for a potential head injury here to see if any medical staff have to come on, and in fact they do, to look at the New York City goalkeeper, who's been so crucial today to their efforts. Again, we talked about it. 7 chances apiece as far as total shots at the half. And Philly only had 1 shot on target that Rando saved, but there's been other opportunities where Rando has been massive to the New York City cause today. And again, can't forget about what Andrew Rick, his opposite number, has done for Philly as well, just to keep them in the game and with a fighting chance. Medical staff have deemed that Alexander Rando appears to be good to go. Alexander Yagudeyev is the backup today for New York City FC. It appears he is not needed, at least not for now. And it'll be a New York City restart from inside of their own penalty area. And as that is all happening, Philadelphia look to be making some alterations here. Edward Davis is going to come on, and that's going to be the last act for Stefan Stojanovic. Philadelphia's leading scorer taken off. Nelson Pierre taken off as well. And Sal Olivas is on. So it is a fresh change in the attack for Philadelphia to try and change the tide. Two fresh players who haven't scored in Next Pro, must be said, this season, but maybe the fresh legs are what's needed more than the experience at the moment. For Philly, we'll see. Hack for Turnbull. O'Toole. Owusu. Threads the ball out to the far side. Can New York make something of this? Carrizo. It's good skill initially, again in tight quarters, but he is stood up. Ball is poked away, but Castillo runs onto it for Philadelphia and sends Olney on his way down this near side. Good hustle by Christopher Olney to keep this in. All across for Castillo, who continued his run, and it deflects back off of Juan Castillo. And it is out for a goal kick as we approach the hour mark here in Queens. Owusu felt the pressure coming from Davis. Owusu. 30 minutes left. O'Toole. Looks for an opening. It's still O'Toole. Held by Andrew Rick. What a game Rick has had. One of the more recent signings for Philadelphia Union 2, the organization as a whole. Now Philly in transition here. Can they create something? Oh, and they pass in the end. Doesn't quite connect between Olivas and Davis. Hack. O'Toole. An incisive ball through from Myers to hold up. Hold it up he does. Ben Alcazar. In the end, he was dispossessed after a marauding run, but Shore helps him out. O'Toole's in support. Looking for Myers. Goalkeeper committed. Goalkeeper stumbles. It's Carrizo! Cleared off the line by Castillo. And it's out for a throw-in. And Philadelphia Union 2 Hearts skipped a beat for a moment there. Rick tumbled, but he's bailed out by his defense. And then Shore is dispossessed. O'Toole collects again for New York, but he couldn't keep it in play in front of his own touchline, and it's out for a Philly throw. Well, how important was that Castillo block? We'll get another look at it here. See, Rick just fell down, and Carrizo, that's going in. There's no question about that. Huge last-ditch intervention from Juan Castillo. And Philadelphia Union lived to tell the tale. Hack able to deal with Davis, and then he is fouled by Olney. It's a free kick for New York.
Well done, Justin.
Hack. Back by O'Toole. Sent ahead. Myers, good hold up play. Short plays Myers in. Carrizo and Jimenez in support. It's Myers who skies it. That was a difficult angle. Not sure he could find a pass from that angle either. Thought that shooting was the best option, and maybe it was, but couldn't put it on target.
Coming on in number 24, Tom Sorensen. Then he replaces number 18, number 88, Kyle Tucker.
Philly make a substitution. Anthony Sorensen comes on. And another one of the new boys for Philly, Kyle Tucker. Had a good first half, must be said. He comes off. And 25 minutes still to play. Again, if it holds, New York City would jump ahead of Philadelphia into 8th place, and they would have the inside track of the teams outside of the playoffs to catch Chicago or Huntsville for one of the last 2 playoff positions. If Philly can come back, even to get 2 points in this game, they would have the inside track over New York. And it would put Matt Pilkington's side up against it with 3 games left. There was still very much a lot that can happen in this match. Rando will clear for New York. Kept alive by the goal scorer, Jimenez. And City win a throw. Ooh, lovely little back heel by Dennis, who gets it back here for New York. Myers was looking for it in the middle. 2 players collapse on John Dennis. And it is a throw into New York on the far side. Castillo. It's a great run. Juan Castillo in the end, though, picks the wrong option, gives it away to O'Toole. Owusu. That's Turnbull, and he uses him here to get New York City on the front foot. Carrizo. Turnbull. Saw City was outnumbered for a moment, waits for help. Carrizo. Out wide for Kevin O'Toole. Ball is served over and controlled by Turnbull under pressure. Jimenez trying to get cheeky. Cut out by Sorensen. Hack under pressure by Davis. If there is to be another goal in this match, it could prove to be massive for whoever scores it. Advantage played on here for Dennis in New York. Turnbull. Owusu. Carrizo. It's deflected. Falls for Turnbull. First time ball across is cleared, but not definitively. It's Kevin O'Toole dancing his way into the penalty area. It's a good cross and it's tapped in. M.D. Myers scores his 17th goal of the season. How opportunistic is he? He called himself a fox in the box. And he does just that. It's a poacher's finish. And New York score a vital second goal and lead 2-0 with 20 minutes left. Patient in their build-up. And the ball that came across goes through Philly's defense. I think even Andrew Rick didn't deal with it. And the magical season for Matthew Myers continues. Well, he missed a penalty against Cincinnati last time out. Wasn't going to miss that one on the doorstep. And Matt Pilkington's boys are 2 to the good. In the meantime, New York are going to make some changes here. Ronald Arevalo is going to come on for New York. They shake some things up here with 20 minutes to go. Looks like Philly were getting a change ready as well. We will get back to that once it's confirmed. It will confirm the New York changes as well. Ronald Arevalo did indeed come on. Here comes the Philly change. Boubacar Diallo is going to come on. Alex Perez comes off. Philly makes another change in that midfield area. New York also brought on Piero Elias. Two subs, again, just to confirm as they show on the screen there. Arevalo and Piero Elias come on. John Dennis came off, along with Maximo Carrizo. So 2 changes for New York, 1 for Philly. 19 minutes left for Philadelphia to come back from 2 goals here. Or is it going to be New York's night in the big city? Of course, Matt Myers is also a former Philadelphia Academy product. Saw our halftime feature at the time when he was a bit younger. They told him At the time, he was too short to be a striker. Well, MD Myers has grown a little bit, grown a few inches, grown in his game as well. And he keeps on scoring goals for New York City FC 2. League leading 17th of the campaign. Philly in search of a lifeline here. Castillo chopping it. Was there a handball in there? Referee waves his finger. It's a no on that. And New York can come the other way. It's picked off. But the whistle goes. Arms are up all over the pitch. New York are unsure why the whistle went. But the play is stopped. The goal scorer of the first goal for New York, Jonathan Jimenez, said to have sent New York on their way. But the referee brought it back for a stop. I wonder if that was a situation where the referee got involved himself and had to stop the play. But in that situation, referees can play advantage there. I think that's why New York were upset with the decision. And now some pressure here from Philadelphia. Turnbull with 4 players around him. Nearly dribbled himself into a big, dangerous moment, but gets himself out of trouble. Here's Owusu. Ball is played up ahead, and O'Toole beaten to it, cleared away. Davis trying to get on the end of it, but in the end, it is cool, calm, and collected play from Nico Benalcazar. Goals from Jimenez and Myers have New York where they want to be at the moment. Elias putting pressure on the Philly back line. Up ahead though, Philly for Olney. They couldn't connect with the new front pair of Olivas and Davis. It's going to be a foul, a free kick. New York don't waste any time. They take it quickly. Ball played onto this near side. It's Jimenez. Jimenez's ball in is dangerous, and Westfield is able to chest it down, but he couldn't keep it from going out of play. It's going to be a corner for New York on the far side as we tick down under 15 minutes left of the 90. By the way, if you're looking to bounce around between next pro games, Houston and St. Louis have kicked off. 5 minutes into that game, no score. And just 20 minutes from now, Orlando will kick off with Crown Legacy. There's still more business to attend to here in the Big Apple. New York City looking for a third, and they nearly get it. Lovely ball played into the penalty area. Turnbull's attempt is turned over the bar by Rick. And it's out for another New York City corner. Now the service is pinpoint. Turnbull's header looked like it was going to actually hit off the bar, but Andrew Rick doesn't take any chances and parries it out for another New York City set piece. Second try from this set piece. Aravalo trying to find O'Toole on the overlap, and in the end, Philly clears. I'll have to say, Matt Pilkington talked about the transitional part of the game, how important that was for them to get right, especially from a defensive side of the game. Again, long way to go still, but so far, despite a couple of tough moments with that in the first half, New York have adjusted well and also scored a goal from a transitional moment themselves, the Jimenez opener. So to say they've checked off the box there would be an understatement. As we enter the 78th minute, it appears that will take us into our second half hydro break here in Jamaica, Queens, New York. Well, the first half in particular of this game was a show-stopping affair. Both teams creating 7 shots, 6 on target for New York. New York in the end have been the more clinical of the two teams. That's been the difference. Jimenez in the first half, and the goal-scoring machine, MD Myers, in the second half. Myers 39 in the sky blue, now wearing a bandana of sorts. Stay cool in the New York heat. Former Rutgers Scarlet Knight and former Philadelphia Academy product, which is ironic in this fixture in particular, but he scores goals against everybody, it must be said. MD Myers, although he did miss that huge penalty late in the loss against FC Cincinnati 2 last time out on Sunday a week ago. He's made amends this week with a huge tap-in to make it 2-0 to New York. And it's put Philly under big pressure moving forward if the result stays like this. Again, New York would have the inside track on Philadelphia now the rest of the way with 3 games remaining for both. And we ran through this earlier, but it's worth reiterating. New York finishes with Crew 2 on the road, Toronto at home, and Inter Miami on the road. Philly has Toronto and Huntsville at home. Those are 2 big games. And then away at New York Red Bulls 2 in New Jersey for the finale. So both teams have some tough games still to come. There's no question about that, but this could be a game that matters a lot in the standings down the stretch. And if New York can see these last 11 plus minutes out, they would pick up their biggest 3 points, arguably, of the entire season. And at the moment, Philadelphia are staring a 4-game losing streak in the face. We're back underway after the hydro break, 10 plus minutes and stoppage time to go. Third goal for New York would certainly settle the issue. Saravallo gets into the penalty area, but he's a bit overzealous on Westfield, and it's a Philadelphia free kick. Well, again, still a big chunk of the game to go, 10 minutes plus stoppage time, but this could also potentially be a second consecutive game without a goal for Philadelphia. And for a team that has so much attacking power, that would be a bit of a surprise in the latter stages of this regular season playoff chase. Of course, back in August, Philadelphia beat New York at Subaru Park by 2-0. So the fact that the rematch has turned into be a 2-0 game with still some time left, again, worth reiterating, but the irony is not lost here. Into the corner it goes. Myers does well just to keep it in play. Battle forward in the midfield. Whistle goes, and looks like that's the substitute, Olivas, that went through on the challenge. Nico Benalcazar. And it's going to be a New York City free kick. Near side, Jimenez. Scored in the 36th minute. Crosses it into the penalty area. Myers lets it run! And the shot is over the top by the substitute, Ronald Aravallo, who could have settled the game. Another look, it's Jimenez with a good ball in, and Myers realized he wasn't in a good position than Aravallo was, but a couple of good last-ditch lunges in there altered the shot. Oh, and now the referees come coming over, I should say, to this near side. Not sure what he's looking at there. He was attending to something, our referee. Grant Fatsa. Now we get the action back underway. Elias just trying to shovel a pass through. Follows up his possession being lost and gets it back. Turnbull. Elias. Jimenez dispossessed by Castillo, and then he pulls on Castillo's kit, and it's a free kick for Philly. Sent forward by Andrew Rick. He's just been tremendous today for Philly. A challenge comes in on this near side. I think it was Turnbull involved. Free kick for Philly. And a Philly player is still down on the back end and might need some medical attention here. Well, the Philly staff have gotten a trainer on to take a look. And again, if you're just joining us, the goals for New York have come from Jonathan Jimenez and MD Myers. For New York, it appears for this challenge that Stephen Turnbull has been booked for New York. It's a yellow card. And now the concern is hopefully that the Philly player is okay. Going through some tests at the moment. Should mention that Philadelphia have made 5 changes already to New York's 2. So that might also impact a potential decision here for Marlon LeBlanc in these final few minutes of the match. A decision that no coach wants to have to make, so we'll see how this plays out. Player that gets back up is Edward Davis. Gets a good hand from the fans here in New York. Hopefully he's okay. He's able to walk off the field under his own power. Or I should say walk further up the field. And for the time being, he is going to continue in this game. And we play on. It's the second time we've had a stoppage like that. Must be said, the referee and the medical staff have handled it all very well. And it's a good thing that the players have been all, would seem, healthy as well after some tough challenges. That's the most important thing. Four minutes and change plus stoppage time left. New York on the verge of their biggest win of the campaign so far. Gives themselves a road back into the postseason picture. And it would put Philly behind the 8 ball with 3 matches still to play. It's going to go out of bounds. O'Toole wins a throw-in for New York. Should mention that there has been a goal in the other game going on right now. St. Louis have scored against Houston on the road. 13 minutes gone in that game on Apple TV Plus, the MLS Season Pass. St. Louis City also fighting for playoffs in the West. They have a huge goal. Again, there's still plenty of games left today on Apple TV Plus with the MLS Season Pass and here on MLSNextPro.com. Not a bad way to end your weekend, if I do say so myself. It's a meaningful action in MLS Next Pro. Ball is headed down. Owusu sends it back to one of New York's most important players today, Alexander Rando, in goal for City. Turnbull under pressure from Sorensen. Did that go out of play? Assistant referee on the near side says no. Sorensen stays with it. And Hack helps out, does very well to settle the situation down for City. It's a lovely interplay initially there between Jimenez. He's got a smile on his face there, and Hack help deal with the Philadelphia Union pressure. The tough part now, that's what MD Myers' goal, why it was so important, is Sorensen grabs twice on the jersey of Elias. Is that now Philly need to score twice, and they are running out of time. And now Myers, nearly squeezes in another. Andrew Rick does ever so well once again. Not sure if that was going to hit the post or go in, but it is parried out for a corner for New York. Well, it's set up nicely for Myers, and he volleys it in the end. But a great game continues for Andrew Rick, Philadelphia's goalkeeper. It is out for a New York corner as we approach the 90th minute. Again, Arevalo will help O'Toole on a short set piece. Passes to Elias. Cross into the middle is headed. And it's headed over the top by Steven Turnbull. And it is a goal kick for Philadelphia. As we approach stoppage time at the end of this one, Philly will have to hope that there's a decent chunk of it left. We're told there might be a big chunk of stoppage time left. We'll await the fourth official's confirmation. It's a Philadelphia free kick, won by the substitute Sal Olivas. Can Philadelphia find a late lifeline as we enter a confirmed 6 added minutes? Sent in by Olney. Oh, it could be a chance, and it's touched wide of the goal by Neil Pierre. And Neil Pierre, I must say, was wide open. Nobody picks him up here for New York. And he sees immediately his mistake. He's just touched it with the outside of his boot and thought that, I think you would presume, he thought that there were players around him and needed to make a quicker decision when he could have maybe even taken a touch. And Philly's big opportunity to get back into the match, at least for now, goes to the wayside. What a ball in by Olney. Nobody picked up Neil Pierre. In the end, New York lives to tell the tale. And there's 5 minutes left. Owusu. Seems like every time Philly had put pressure on, New York had been one step ahead of them. And this occasion is no different. It's a foul. And it is once again a New York free kick won by Piero Elias. Again, one final reminder, Orlando City B Crown Legacy coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern on Apple TV Plus, MLS Season Pass. North Texas, Colorado, San Jose, against Minnesota, Lostos, and Sporting KC 2. And it's a crunching tackle. It's a fair challenge, says the referee. Philly come back the other way with 4 minutes of stoppage time left. In the end, they're dispossessed by Justin Hack. He puts New York another step closer to sealing this victory. Now that's a lovely ball played ahead by Shore. Be a chance for New York to seal it in stoppage time here. It's Elias who puts a good touch in. Myers. This is going to be Jonathan Jimenez, who didn't have the angle. And he sends it out of play for a goal kick. Another look. Seen a number of good moments of hold-up play from MD Myers today. This is another, but not the best shot from Jonathan Jimenez. And it must be said, it was a difficult angle even to hit the target from that position. And New York have seen themselves hold on to the lead here through the first 3 added minutes of the 6. And now O'Toole looks to break things down, then a shot is fired in. And it is, in the end, soaring over the top from Piero Elias. And it is a goal kick for Philadelphia after the Elias effort. Marlon LeBlanc's side are on the verge of losing their 4th straight league match. And New York City are on the verge of ending a 3-match losing streak to Philadelphia in the league. Get their 2nd ever win over Philadelphia Union 2. Myers, can he add on to his golden boot? Elias to this near side. Jimenez. Turnbull. Owusu. Trying to thread it through for Myers. Elias helped to put the pressure on. Jimenez ends up winning that back from Sorensen. Turnbull to Owusu. New York want to finish this in style, it looks like, but the attack breaks down. Rojas up ahead. Olney to Davis, who's offside. And now we're getting into miracle territory for Philadelphia, who still need to score 2 to salvage it, but they only have a minute and change left. I think at the end of the day, this was a game that New York needed to bounce back, not only from the Cincy loss, but from the previous losses to Philadelphia in prior Next Pro affairs. Philadelphia has been, at times, far the better side when these two have gotten together. But today seems to be a day where New York was able to figure it out. Oh, and Elias' challenge is deemed to be unfair. It's going to be a free kick for Philly inside of the final 30 seconds or so. New York will make a change as well. David Duque, he's going to come on. And it looks like Jonathan Shore, he's going to leave us. It's actually David Duque's professional debut with New York City FC 2. Won't be too long, but he'll be part of the celebrations. Philly in search of a consolation. It is cleared out, and the offside flag is up. And that may very well be that in Queens today. Really strong performance from New York from just about start to finish, and they have certainly deserved this result. As we await the referee's final whistle, it does come. That's full time from Queens. A massive win for New York City FC 2. It's arguably their biggest win of the season. They get revenge on Philadelphia Union 2. They win by 2-0. and they stay very much alive in the race to the postseason in the Eastern Conference. Goals from Jimenez and Myers, enough for all 3 points. New York have the edge on Philadelphia heading into the final 3 games of the regular season. And it is, in the end, a huge performance from New York City. Tonight's man of the match is presented by Adidas, and it is the goal-scoring machine, M.D. Myers, who continues to shine in this MLS Next Pro season. His 17th goal of the season helped to seal all 3 points for New York. The man of the match is presented by Adidas. Matt Myers knows probably a few of these boys he went up against. The former Philadelphia Union Academy product comes back to haunt them in a New York City FC2 shirt today. Really fun game in Queens. There's no mistake about that. In the end, it's a massive win for New York City FC2 over their rivals Philadelphia Union 2. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. Once again, our final score, NYCFC 2 and Philadelphia Union 0. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Good night, everybody, from the Big Apple.
This copyrighted broadcast of MLS Next Pro may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.